legitimacy of democracy. Okay. The act must specify which federal court rules on the act. This voting into the phrase federal judiciary is too vague and Joyce destroys legal precision. That's good. March 1966. I've always been opposed to the phrase federal judiciary. I'm much better to say the Supreme Court, more directed judiciary, and not the courts responsible for the same in all cases. The Jackman Judicial Act without being with the court. There are different United States courts, certain courts, singing parts of the federal judiciary. The current federal judiciary was too indefinite. It also destroys ground education. Alternative court conduct was at the heart of most educational based on the topic. And 2 is a clarification of bad sandbagging actors makes the church most strategic values of the ONC and most of the negative structurally behind. Now, next off, Obama's using political capital to delay a deal right now on diversity and elemental the day in Iran with everyone opponents to build momentum. The parties is forcing administration more public and higher races diplomacy and the Senate hold of sanctions. But administration will make a strong push one to gain third deal before side for the debate and political capital is key. New sanctions will work the deal. Congress 11. Rouhani is offering a concession, not getting enough of the terms of sanctions. They become vulnerable. Congress decided to run to build grounds of the campaign is only one friendly decision by Obama strikes against Syria, demilitarizing the atmosphere, global reverse Congress and sanctions. But on how much PC Obama willing to spend and war powers stripping tanks political capital on 7 or certain Congress of the country is the cost of advanced presidency would be made this cost of political capital and will more present purpose and interest restriction with food and also politics over principles and the deal stops proliferation in Iran strike 11-14. Obama said the sign of a company NPT would shut out a company would withdraw Israel strike the deal actions of actually time for messages perfect sections around which judgment but also the federal government goes on get collection on the predator the right outside below the mission and Israel strike fails triggers World War III stops the tension in the economy preventing 12-10 Israel strike would include the regional war building a collapse of our Iran's facilities unknown Iran's build redundancy and crushing out of capable Israel second Iran's soil the world economy is self-involved responsibility we use for nuclear strike and World War III and Iran Pulse caused a nuclear war in 111. Nuclear rocket ship Pulse in Saudi Arabia, Pakistan, the everyone was Pakistan was any decision which stabilizing the interaction with nuclear escalation quickly Ukraine center attack given the proximity to fighting launch warning governments increase loss of all the enemy's scout and certainly we sure nuclear war. Next off. Judicial deference is high. There's an inherence to the political question doctrine rather than into the claims of the president to be weak. How can not to the judicial doctrine course of the political question doctrine avoid address the condition related to war powers. The plan versus court deference and rules on political question liberal 11. Other doctrines have been risen involving these dimension of tranquility false force morally. Feel the federal courts is spread or makes the rest of political operations to cause them involved in resolving the tension and use the force that making war powers a justiciable issue which causes a slippery slope breaks on the entire doctrine military. To say the case of more just makes question why such claims automatically justiciable conference purposes articulate political question doctrine that discriminates specific inquiries and extend political question doctrine establishes the respective theory is taken problem because the case of push induces a lot of conflicts, but I'm committee adjudicated. The consideration potentially doctrinal stability starts slippery slope of the cost of course and properly adjudicate claims, and that causes a wave of litigation, destroys the effectiveness of defense contractors. Item 10. Defense contractors will prevent suits to storm all fragment entails because of the legal cost of following reasons. Given political questions to judicial branch, the illegal percentage court held usually has a representative claim all offices said courts of political questions to general employment useful to force a copy on the political branches of the courts. Court contract will want to use sales plus or liability to contract the court where they financial burden of judges against contractors would only be passed through the constitutional factors and presumed effectiveness with same less not exists at all. You can use major factor going on the obligation where the number of plaintiffs Gabriel seek to raise political question, not just absolute bar. Contrary to ethics, or to other facts and admission, so as to proceed the argue such claims would result in commerce, support, and admission to jeopardy. That's key to operational success in Afghanistan. Short sign, the duty to realize more contracts work after against critical point contracts with force effectively manages contracts during continued sports like the contract can delay or receiving supports on many concern. Just as the Iraq against force the duty attention for operational success, and that causes global nuclear war Morgan 7. As the war test by the autonomy of birds and separate mood, the breaker back against a good lead with breaker Pakistan and fells of wars and DIQ, the Arctic civil wars spread to Asia, it's starting with Palestine and Pakistan and Iraq and the Mediterranean war would roll out a nuclear war would usher a new global war that China and Russia pit against the UN. Next off. Counterpoint, Congress should propose in 3/4 of the state should ratify an amendment to the United States Constitution that individuals in military detention who have won their habeas corpus hearing cannot be detained. The counterpoint bill support through consensus key to social change and avoids the rollback needed after Bill 4. The Michigan Council benefits of course updating the failed bill support of the version for consensual agreement. The Best Council Pacific applied just to change the amendment. The former increased high state common law constitutional great conflicts with subsequent periods amendments to discourage everybody lose to overturn change. The amendments are more during the judicial decision lose the amendment will lose less quickly overturn the rules than common law and the amendment avoids the links to the DAs. Section 3. War powers criticize the total fail due to a weak on force record. They note that argues is a question amendment to charge that separate power like possible branches in amendment holds the power also the members of confederation cause allowed Congress to wait. The section O is the guidance the course of conflict structural or specific congressional action. The course of been reversed or for first amendment make the interpretation of war powers clear constitution war required of course analysis these course of avoided education war powers because of the doctrine political question. Next off. The one who says have to find legitimate use of violence is intrinsically linked to the creation of a hierarchy of life that's used to justify non-human subjugation. Coaching 9. Species of war remains the hidden because not seen violence. The mechanism to determine what causes deliberate violence follow the foundation of species of war. The mechanism for determining deliberate violence depend on judging of facts of life and the gratify the values of each human and non-human. Species of war can be excluding contemporary movements of every space where the inclusion in version 2 options of laws be able to order justice to the heart of the law and practice making judgment about the value of life of the objects. Practice making judgment about the value of the distinct what can be held as if concerned by the judgment over life what constitutes the legitimate violence of species of war occurs at the beginning of the law. Its moment's foundation. This hierarchy between valuable interests is the heart of the legal system. The distinction not only ensures a continuous species of war, but is the foundation behind any form of violence against the other. Coaching 9. The distinction between left and left, but the distinction from the Western legal theory. These things already consider power to the basis of law, the human animal section that determines value of the human more life, more life, good that is worth more than non-human animal. The real life that life forces life for the humans that have it subscribed over the life worth of non-human. The wall bonds when they thought to observe by biological pair, these acts take place in order to judgment, respect, and good the hard ways. That's where legitimacy of violence, but legitimacy utterly by consumption about the norms, values, and forms of life playing out through his hierarchies, life and sections of the human animal section. Helens, barbarians, Europeans, and Orientals, whites and blacks, civilized, uncivilized, Nazis, Arabs, Israelis, and colonizers, colonized. Regimes of violence have been normalized through a manner that replicates the normalization of violence against non-human animals, criticizing challenging forms of violence which at different moments being normalized. The ongoing task of any critical is concerned with war and law. And the hierarchy between human and non-human, the civilians and deaths per year, and categorically outweighs. It's the only thing that guaranteed planetary extinction. Best 7. Human versus now between slavery, holocaust, and animal suffering. There's a continuity of electronic performance of human animals. The animals suffer more than humans quantitatively contested. The overture qualitatively numbers of those suffer died. Well, few groups have more one finds out mass consumption every year. Over 45 billion animals are killed for food consumption. This is 8 times the present human population. 27 million states, 19,000 billions more. Died in the name of science and human sport fashion. Ever more species advanced from the earth entered the sixth extinction. This one caused by human advance, less one occurring with the demise of 9% of the planet. 11% should help make a planet more livable. Hey, we were quintessential to the survival of our planet. And the alternative is a refusal of sovereign power to draw lines between inside and outside. Any other approach simply affirms the sovereign. Atkins in P505. One challenge because it's refusal to draw lines between inside and outside. We're not asking for a limited power relations that we show our political being power that apply the opposite kind of power. Can we contest probably about political relations every city with challenge placing theory reveal any other challenge with enable within the relation of violence power conversations by fighting over where the lines are drawn. He explicitly accepts that lines must be drawn. Such strategies risk replication of violence and demanding the law be drawn differently. Such challenges refuse of sovereign power equals renders all their life, and absolute refusal is key. Refusing to operate within an anti-standing hierarchy is critical to breaking down the logical underpinnings of biopolitical violence. Police 13. The solution to violence is this awful categories left without hierarchy, who are not within the machine will mean, who the emphasis that separate fan animals seeking object regime, how they limit the capacity of violence looking at not saying when clearly dangerous, the circular circulation and just ground model moves and move the views purchase in hierarchy, name, dominant states, ethics, or refuse of antipas and assimilation, they move, they return out of the emphasis and such regimes on violence so they state in the state violence and biological bible state, or the anthropocentric drugs of bible human sure whatever is non human that can be expendable. Now solvency, the legal ambiguity means that the term release is vague will get interpreted to maintain detention. Child 11, the government argued that came up with a petition or release maybe needed to after petition only maintain analysis links to the use of release government status determined by financial function service relief on unlawful detention. The plan is a limited habeas ruling. It is silent on immigration authority, which takes out solvency. Hernandez Lopez 12. Given about cases, rule of constitution regarding complex obviously demonstrated immigrants law doctrine but difference against victim detention, even non-compensated detained definitely by relying immigration just by detention came about attributed such immigrants law provides a way for course to minimize the of the habeas to check by implementing powers limits extra PPD limits extra constitution of power protection applied immunity. The DC court reasoning affects hallmark plenary powers doctrine even if the court ruling came about it would most likely present habeas not limited the immigration law justification. And third, political opposition makes circumvention inevitable. Hernandez Lopez 12 in theory court habeas was going to the result of the substantially health has made new extra life determinations. Even recent Americans always rarely detain stars that's unlikely unlimited plans to create a center in Illinois. Now, legitimacy, the drones outweigh credibility, detention in terms of credibility. Holmes 13, mistake committed no civil policy, American lives in models of war and terror. Those rates inside of good outlook is believed killing a little country save Americans. The drone replacing on how was the incentives of Americans. Callous source Muslim Obama's Trump has submitted weapons and worsening of the American press. And remedy should have solved the affirmative perception. Hegemony also doesn't solve purple 10. Scholars question the hegemony theory, trade, and replaced by single dominant power of the economists of Brazilian. The terms of the category class medical born. They were manufactured a decline war, which is a relatively global conflict with the model refocus our credible alternatives to the US. Now the democracy advantage, no modeling black 12. We've dealt with religious belief in America, stuff we see from some modeling democracy law. We covered up the competence of the launch of doing so. University Minister of Class said this is World War II. Was the world came to conclude the US system was crazy. Also, democracy spillover is a joke. Walt 11. They want once existing orders without state rise. No new business to create not only does it encourage more groups to high stakes and incentives violence. It is a pipe dream to think that key actors could introduce legitimate if rules like representatives whose interests are and that comes about the question the rules and about them. These starting with Steel 1978 the term little war passed with Jacobian terror. The directives called Napoleon Screw has been 10 years version of revolution 1970 imposed over the order return political struggles till songs revolution 1978. As far as influence even aid neglect can backfire more prudent for the use to see themselves as a model and patience is needed. Cross 6.
What's the status of the counterplan in the K?
Conditional.
Okay, can the judge kick them, the advocacies in the 2
You mean like after the debate?
Yeah, I do.
No.
Okay, who rolls back the app on the constitutional amendment counterplan?
Not necessarily rolls back. It's a matter of implementation and enforcement.
Who would stop enforcement or implementation?
Well, and a good example is like the card you read on solvency about how the plan's like language can be reinterpreted in different ways.
Okay.
So it's the executive.
Yes, well, the executive would be the one who is most likely to have an interest in doing so.
Okay, that's fine. So what about releasing innocent people from Guantanamo reproduces hierarchies?
Well, the approach that you take is one that starts with the law as the foundational.
Okay,
like,
so
starting
the
point.
link is starting with the law. What about starting with the law determines legitimate versus illegitimate violence?
The law itself is built upon the hierarchy of what is legitimate violence, right? The law is, by definition, built on what like an exclusionary principle. Certain subjects
What
are
protects
deemed.
people who are thrown into detention if not the law? How do they ever get out?
Well, argument is that the alternative, which would be a different way of approaching the way we understand what it means to be outside the law in the first place, would be the only way to actually make them get out. Right?
What
The law
does
itself
alternative
will not
do about
work.
things like zoos, things like circuses, things like the Spam Museum in Austin, Minnesota? Obviously, anthropocentric hierarchical policies.
Well, the law certainly doesn't do anything about those in this status quo. We need a reformulation
Okay,
of
so
how that.
regardless of whether the law does anything, I'm asking about what the alt does to deal with like
Well, the
structural
alternative is a
inconsistencies.
completely different conceptualization of the idea of law and what is
So what does it
constitutes a
use to
legitimate
replace
subject.
law to protect people like foreign nations, non-citizens who are in the U.S. or in
Or-
detention against their will?
We wouldn't have, it would be a law not based on these distinctions between citizen and non-citizen, one which says the non-citizen is bare life and outside the
So
law.
the alt creates a new legal system that doesn't have citizen, non-citizen distinctions.
Yeah, Agamben talks about.
That's what it does. It creates a new law that doesn't have citizen, non-citizen
Well, it's just
distinctions.
not based on the bare life and good life distinction.
Okay, that's fine. So, I want to talk about the Morgan impact that you read to the PMC's dissent. It's from 6 years ago. There's been massive violence since then. Why haven't we seen escalation?
Our argument would be that there have been PMCs to keep it sort of like under wraps.
I see. Why didn't Boumediene trigger the disadvantage?
Well,
The court ignored the political question doctrine in Boumediene. Why are there still PMCs?
that's not like the same type of justiciable issue.
Yes, it is.
Bradley
It's
evidence.
exactly the same issue. The court then overruled Boumediene, and we overruled the overrule. So why didn't Boumediene trigger it?
The Bradley evidence says that the court has been invoking the political question doctrine.
Okay, so the court can
Consistent.
still invoke the political question doctrine after a case that disputes it. Why does the plan lead to more getting rid of the political question doctrine?
Well, our argument would be like your affirmative is a much bigger expansion
No, it's
of
not. It's exactly the same
the
as
scope of
Boumediene.
detention
It
authority.
reaffirms Boumediene. So do you have any cards that draw a distinction between the plan and Boumediene?
We'll read more link cards. as
Well,
well.
it's also the fact that
We'll
the
take
law.
that, please.